The Galactic Council's messenger ship hung in the void like a crystalline dagger, its translucent hull refracting the light of distant stars. Ambassador Zethkar stood before the viewing portal, his four eyes studying the blue marble that had become the galaxy's most troublesome world. Earth. Such a small planet to cause such enormous problems. Behind him, the holographic projector hummed to life, displaying the assembled leaders of the Terran Defense Coalition. President Chen of the Asian Republic sat stoically, her weathered face betraying no emotion. Chancellor Morrison of the European Federation leaned back in his chair, arms crossed. Prime Minister Okafor of the African Union tapped her fingers rhythmically on the table. They were all there, every major leader of this defiant little world. Humans of Earth, Zethkar began, his voice carrying the weight of galactic authority. I speak for the Galactic Council, representing 47 stellar civilizations. For the past solar year, you have repeatedly violated the pacification protocols. You have refused to surrender your military assets. You have declined our generous offer of protected status. This ends now. He gestured with one of his 6 arms, and the hologram shifted to show the massive fleet assembled at the edge of the solar system. Thousands of ships, battle cruisers from the Andromedans, planet killers from the Centauri Empire, reality-bending weapons from the Void Walkers. Behold the combined fleet, Zethkar continued. 47 civilizations united in purpose. We offer you one final chance. Surrender unconditionally. Accept our protection, and your species will survive as a client race. You will be relocated to reservation worlds where you can live out your days in peace under our guidance. President Chen's image flickered as she leaned forward. And if we refuse? Zethkar's mandibles clicked, the equivalent of a human sigh. Then Earth will be sterilized. Every city leveled. Every human eliminated. It is regrettable, but the galaxy demands order. Your species' aggression and unpredictability make you unsuitable for integration as equals. Chancellor Morrison laughed, a sound that somehow carried menace despite its apparent humor. Unsuitable? We haven't fired a single shot at any of your member worlds. You need not fire shots to be dangerous, Zethkar replied. We have studied your history. In a mere 1,000 years, you went from discovering fire to splitting atoms. In another 100, you reached your moon. Your rate of technological advancement is unprecedented and therefore threatening. Left unchecked, you could surpass us all within centuries. Prime Minister Okafor smiled coldly. So this is about fear. This is about preservation of order, Zethkar corrected. We have maintained galactic peace for 10,000 years by ensuring no single species becomes too powerful. You will submit or you will be eliminated. You have 1 solar hour to decide. The hologram flickered off, leaving Zethkar alone with his thoughts. He had delivered ultimatums to 17 species in his career. 16 had chosen survival over pride. Only the Kithra had chosen extinction, and their sun still burned empty, its planets nothing but radioactive dust. Humans, however, were proving different. During the year-long negotiation process, they had done something unprecedented. They had kept building. Not weapons, as expected, but infrastructure, massive shipyards in the asteroid belt. Orbital platforms around every planet, deep space mining operations. It was as if they were preparing for a siege that could last millennia. The hour passed with excruciating slowness. When the communication array finally activated, Zethkar expected to see the defeated faces of humanity's leaders, ready to accept their fate. Instead, only President Chen appeared on screen. Her expression was calm, almost serene. Ambassador Zethkar, she said formally. The Terran Defense Coalition has reached a unanimous decision regarding your ultimatum. And? Chen's smile was sharp as broken glass. No. Zethkar blinked all 4 eyes in succession, a sign of complete bewilderment. You refuse? You understand what this means? We understand perfectly, Chen replied. We've had a year to prepare. Prepare? Zethkar's voice rose to a screech. You have seen our fleet. 47 civilizations, weapons that can crack moons. What preparation could possibly? His words died as every sensor on his ship began screaming warnings. The massive fleet that had been positioned at the solar system's edge was surrounded. Ships were decloaking, impossible numbers of them. Sleek angular vessels that seemed to bend light around them. How? Zethkar whispered. Chen's image was joined by the other leaders, all wearing the same predatory smile. Did you really think, Morrison said softly, that a species capable of going from fire to atomic weapons in a millennium would spend a year sitting idle. While you were positioning your fleets and making threats, Okafor continued, we were building, mining asteroids, constructing shipyards, creating fleets. But the resources, the time, Zethkar stammered. We're very good at industrialization, Chen said. It's what we do. The display showed the true scope of what humanity had accomplished. The asteroid belt was no longer a loose collection of rocks. It was a massive shipyard, bristling with defense platforms. Jupiter's moons housed construction facilities that dwarfed anything in the galaxy, and the ships, thousands upon thousands of them sleek and deadly, emerging from stealth fields that shouldn't have been possible. You see, Chen continued conversationally, you made an error in judgment. You assumed we would react to threats the way your species do, with fear and submission. But humans have a saying, the best defense is a good offense. The combined fleet was trying to organize, but they were completely surrounded. Humanity's ships moved with precise coordination, cutting off escape routes, jamming communications, systematically dismantling the galactic force without firing a shot. This is impossible, Zethkar breathed. Your technology advanced rapidly, Morrison finished. Funny thing about humans, we're at our most creative when someone points a gun at us. Okafor leaned forward. Here's what's going to happen, Ambassador. Your fleets will stand down and withdraw. The Galactic Council will recognize Earth as a sovereign world with full rights and protections, and in return we won't demonstrate just how creative we can be when threatened. You cannot. This violates every law of galactic warfare. Chen smiled. Perhaps. But you see, we never signed your treaties. We're not bound by your rules. We make our own. The display shifted one final time, showing Earth itself. The blue marble now bristled with orbital defense platforms, space elevators, and launch facilities. What had once been a single populated world was now the heart of a stellar fortress. You offered us a choice, President Chen said quietly. Submit or die. We've chosen a third option. Evolve. Zethkar stared at the impossible sight of humanity's rapid transformation. In 1 year, they had become what it took most species millennia to achieve. What are you? He whispered. Chen's smile was neither kind nor cruel. It was something far more terrifying. It was confident. We're human, she said simply, and we don't surrender. The communication ended, leaving Zethkar alone with the realization that the galaxy had just changed forever. The humans hadn't just said no to surrender, they had said no to the very concept of limitation itself. In the cold void of space, humanity's newest fleet began its patrol of the solar system. While on the blue marble below, engineers were already drawing up plans for interstellar expansion. The galaxy would never be the same.